Yeah, no, just to reiterate a few things. David, I've really, I've been a fan of your work since you were my gateway drug back in the 90s. I think it was 99, 2000 even, actually even earlier, that I saw your first book on my dad's shelf. And he would not dare to read it, I'm sure. But it was sort of an eye-opener for me when I read The Biggest Secret. And, as you say, you've been doing this for 30 years, Sasha. Around the same time, I got onto this really in the late 2000s, 2010, 12 time period. And then, carrying that forth. And like you said, we're watching this unfold, these theories, these conspiracies, this agenda, we're watching this unfold before our very eyes. And all of a sudden we're realizing we are in that position of being able to lead because people are looking for insight and advice. What the heck is happening, right? I mean, people are turning around left and right going, I was a liberal yesterday, and now the liberals are all turning on each other, and they're basically betraying each other, turning each other in for not wearing masks, and they're sort of like, they're horrible human beings, and they're, enforcers, they're fascists. I want to be with but I think what it's allowing us to do, as you say, it's like the people have to see the boot in their face before they believe it. And what allows them to do is start to ally themselves with those of a similar make, right? Those of quality of character, of orientation, of understanding that this is not the reality that we wish to interface with. And I'm just curious, because I know Sasha's working with an intent to ultimately create an intentional community and sort of land-based society. How do you see moving out of this New World Order matrix, right, and being able to create our own society, our own way of relating and being in this world without having to be beholden to that mammon god, let's say?
Well, there's a number of directions we could go with that. But if people look at my books over the years, I've gone into the names, dates, places, connections, organizations, secret networks. But in the books also is always the nature of reality and the nature of the true I. And that's not by coincidence. It's because if you ignore one, then you're in a situation of imbalance. I see over the years, I've seen if you like, the spiritual movement, that a lot of it has been very adverse to the fact that there's a bricks and mortar, names, dates, places conspiracy going on. And they've been in denial of it. And I don't think that we come into this world to then ignore the fact that we've done so. We need to face what's going on if we're going to change it. Yeah. But then on the other side, if you're only focusing on the, if you're at the 5 sense level of the manipulation that I'm talking about, then there really are no big answers. So you fall for, if you only see the 5 sense level of everything, you only see 5 sense answers to what appear to be 5 sense problems. So you'll go down the road, for instance, of we must stockpile weapons to fight the enemy, which of course the enemy loves because it's got all the state-of-the-art weaponry at its fingertips. So if you, my experience when I look at the world is if you look for 5 sense answers to 5 sense problems, what you're going to create is more 5 sense problems in a cause and effect going on and on and on. So the understanding of the nature of the true I and the nature of reality and how we interact with it, how it affects us, how we can affect it, for me is the gateway to the way out of here. Because when you break it down, our perceptions become our experience, and you have this sequence where you control information, and by controlling information, you're dictating perception. That's why all the censorship's going on now, of course. And from perception comes behavior. People behave because of their perceptions. And so what we are looking at, and we can go deeper into this, a much more deep, energetic level, but even on the surface level, what we call human society is simply a collective projection of human perception. Now, if you look at 2020, it's a classic. There were three, and continue to be, three very distinct perceptions which have led to experience. One, right at the start of this, in the spring of last year, there was the perception that there was a deadly virus.
Yep.
And that perception led to fear of the deadly virus. And that fear perception led to vast numbers of people going under house arrest meekly and obediently because their perception was there was a deadly virus. There's a classic example of how perception becomes behavior, becomes consequence. The next group, which was very much smaller, but he's bigger now, were those that looked at it and thought, this don't make sense to me. There's something going on more than this. But their fear of the consequences of not obeying led them to also meekly, if not perceptually, but meekly obey and go under house arrest. Then there was the third group, which at the start of 2020 was very small. It's not now, by comparison. And that's those that saw that there was a scam going on here, we were being lied to, and made the decision, I'm not cooperating with it.
Yeah.
And it's the third group that has to enormously increase to bring an end to this. So the thing is, to come round to completing the answer to the question, is that if we change our perception, we change the projection of that perception, which we call human society. And because people are in fear, because people are kept in ignorance of their true and infinite nature, because we have a vast swathe of humanity that perceives itself as in terms of little me, you have a dynamic that comes from that in which the few are dictating to all the vast numbers of people that think they're little me and I have no power. You start to change your self-identity. For me, fellas, this is the key. Changing self-identity. What happens is from the moment we are born, we are constantly encouraged and pressured to self-identify with labels. With I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm this sexuality, I'm this race, I'm this religious faith, I'm this income bracket. Labels, labels, labels. And if you look at what's happened in recent years, as that string of letters, LBGT, and on and on and on it goes now, has got bigger and bigger and bigger, what that is actually an expression of is the constant subdividing of perceived identity labels. And so you go from man, woman, this, that, and you go into smaller and smaller subdivisions of it. And people feel the need to self-identify by projecting the minutiae of how they see themselves. And the point being, I would suggest, is that list of letters and these labels, they're not who we are. They are what we are experiencing.
Right.
And we've been manipulated to self-identify the true I, which is consciousness, awareness, a state of awareness, being aware, to self-identify that I with labels. This is what identity politics is all about. This is why the elite, the cult, brought it all in. And the more you self-identify with the minutiae of your, if you like, human experience, which you identify as you, the more you are pulling out through your focus of attention on the labels, you are withdrawing from the influence of the greater self. And the greater self coming through the heart and expanded awareness, which is not some guy sitting on a mountain cross-legged, you know, I'm the guru. Anybody can do it. It's a choice. It's our natural state. Never mind, anyone can do it. And when we start to expand our self-identity from I am my labels to I am all that is, has been, and ever can be, having an experience called those labels, then our perceptions change, our emotional state changes,
Yes.
our energetic field changes, and as that gathers and becomes greater and greater, a collective transformation, that expansion and transformation of the sense of the I becomes a transformation of perception, collectively becomes a transformation of human society. So, you know, it's not like, well, okay, we're gonna build a new society. So we need an organization. Okay, yeah, we need someone to take the minutes. Who's going to take the minutes? Who's going to be secretary? Now that sort of stuff plays out, you know, on one level, but it's not what changes society. What changes society is what society is, which is the collective perceptions of humanity.